Hey everyone, welcome back to your channel today. We're diving into something that most of us handle every day but may not think much about. The humble 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. You might think it's just a small, copper-colored coin with a modest value. But what if I told you there's a lot more to these little pieces of currency than meets the eye? So stick with me as we explore the fascinating history, value, and potential worth of the 1-cent coin. Let's get started. The 1-cent coin has a long and storied history, dating back to the very early days of the United States. In fact, the penny is one of the oldest coins to be issued by the U.S. Mint. Let's rewind all the way to 1793, when the very first U.S. 1-cent coin was struck. Known as the chain cent, this coin was designed by the famous engraver Robert Scott and featured a chain of 15 links representing the 15 original states. At the time, the value of the coin was, of course, just 1 cent, but this coin marked a major milestone in U.S. currency history. It was made of copper and weighed about 13.5 grams, which is much heavier than today's pennies. The design was later changed in 1796 to the draped bust design, which was used on pennies for over a decade. But over the years, the penny has gone through many design changes, each reflecting the values and culture of the time. In 1909, a major change came when the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent, featuring the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. This was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person on it, and it marked the beginning of a new era for the penny. Since then, the Lincoln cent has undergone several design modifications, but it remains largely unchanged in its basic structure. For example, in 1959, the reverse of the coin was updated to feature the Lincoln Memorial, and later, in 2009, the reverse changed once again to honor Lincoln's 200th birthday with a series of special designs. Fast forward to today, and the 1-cent coin is still a part of our daily lives. But in an age of rising inflation and digital payments, many people have started questioning, why do we even still have pennies? Well, despite its small face value, the penny is still produced by the U.S. Mint. In fact, billions of pennies are minted every year. But the cost of making these coins is actually more than their face value. As of recent estimates, it costs about 2.1 cents to produce 1 penny. So, why do we keep making them? It's largely due to tradition and the role the penny plays in everyday transactions. However, there has been growing debate over whether we should continue minting them. Even so, the penny is still useful for rounding up or down in cash transactions, and for some people, it holds sentimental value. But let's be real, a penny doesn't go very far these days. In fact, 1 penny today has roughly the same buying power as 1/10 of a cent did in the 1950s. Now here's the exciting part, not all pennies are created equal. In fact, some pennies are worth far more than their face value. Let's take a look at some of the rarest and most valuable 1-cent coins in circulation today. One of the most famous and valuable pennies is the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. This rare coin, minted in San Francisco, features the initials VDB for the designer Victor David Brenner on the reverse, and it's considered one of the most sought-after pennies by collectors. If you find a 1909 SVDB penny in good condition, it could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, or even more. Another extremely valuable penny is the 1943 copper penny. During World War II, copper was in short supply, so the U.S. Mint switched to making pennies out of steel. However, a small number of 1943 pennies were mistakenly struck in copper, making them incredibly rare and worth a small fortune. In fact, these rare 1943 copper pennies can fetch upwards of $1 million at auction. Then there's the 1955 double-die obverse penny. This coin is known for a major minting error that caused the image of Lincoln's face to appear doubled. It's a highly prized era coin, and in excellent condition, it could be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, depending on the quality. And don't forget about the 1992 closed AM penny. This coin features an error in the design of the reverse, where the letters A and M in the word America are very close together. If you happen to find one, it could be worth anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depending on the condition. Asterisk, you may be wondering, what about the pennies I have in my pocket right now? Are they worth anything? Well, let's talk about that. Asterisk, most modern pennies are only worth 1 cent, as we discussed earlier. But if you have a collection of pennies or come across older ones, they may be worth a little more. For example, wheat pennies, those minted between 1909 and 1958, are often worth more than a single cent depending on the year and condition. Wheat pennies can range in value from a few cents to several dollars. Asterisk, so, while your everyday penny might not be worth much, the key to finding valuable coins lies in looking for those rare varieties, minting errors, or older coins that have stood the test of time. Asterisk, so, what do you think? The 1-cent coin might seem small and insignificant, but as we've seen today, there's a rich history behind it, and some of these coins can be worth a lot of money. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned numismatist, there's always something fascinating to discover when it comes to pennies. Asterisk, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1-cent coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you've got any rare pennies in your collection, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your finds. Asterisk, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay curious and keep on collecting. Asterisk. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most iconic and humble coins in the history of U.S. currency, the 1-cent coin, or as many of us call it, the penny. We see these little guys every day, but how much do you really know about them? From their fascinating history to their surprising value in today's market, you might be shocked at what your pocket change could be worth. Stick around as we explore the life of the 1-cent coin, its history, its value, and the rare pennies that could be worth thousands, or even millions, of dollars. Let's get started. Asterisk, the story of the 1-cent coin begins all the way back in 1793. Yes, over 230 years ago, when the U.S. Mint first started producing coins for the fledgling nation. The very first 1-cent coin was known as the chain cent, and it was anything but ordinary. Asterisk, the chain cent was designed by Robert Scott, who was the chief engraver at the U.S. Mint. It featured a chain of 15 links on the reverse, symbolizing the 15 states that existed at the time. The obverse of the coin featured a bust of Lady Liberty, a design that would go on to appear on many U.S. coins in the years to come. The coin was made of pure copper and weighed about 13.5 grams, which is much heavier than the pennies we have today. Asterisk, although the 1793 chain cent was a revolutionary piece of currency, the design wasn't without its issues. The chain design was quickly replaced with another iteration, the Drake bust cent, in 1796. But despite these changes, the penny continued to evolve over the years. Fast forward to 1909, and this is when the 1-cent coin became a symbol of American history, thanks to a new design. Asterisk, in 1909, the U.S. Mint introduced the Lincoln cent, which featured the profile of President Abraham Lincoln. This was a major milestone, as it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this penny became an instant classic. The reverse side of the coin initially featured 2 wheat stalks on either side of a shield, giving rise to the name wheat penny, a term collectors still use today to describe any Lincoln cent minted between 1909 and 1958. Asterisk, this was also the era when the penny became truly ingrained in the culture of everyday America. Over time, the penny has gone through several other design changes, most notably the addition of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse in 1959, which commemorated the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. And in 2009, we even saw a series of special reverses, including the one commemorating Lincoln's 200th birthday. Asterisk, today, the 1-cent coin is still part of everyday life. But let's face it, many of us might wonder, why do we still have pennies? Given that it costs more than 1 cent to make a penny, does it even make sense to keep minting them? Asterisk as of recent years, it costs the US Mint about 2.1 cents to produce each penny, which is more than double its face value. So why continue producing them? Well, one reason is tradition, and another is the penny's continued use in cash transactions. While inflation has made pennies less valuable over time, they still serve as a small but necessary part of everyday purchases, rounding up or down to the nearest cent in cash payments. Asterisk. Even so, the real value of modern pennies is largely symbolic. Today, 1 penny is worth 1 cent, but its buying power has dramatically decreased over the years. In fact, the value of a penny today is about the same as 1/10 of a cent was in 1950. In other words, today's penny doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Asterisk. But here's where things get really exciting. While most modern pennies aren't worth much more than their face value, there are some pennies out there that are worth an absolute fortune. So, if you're someone who loves to collect coins, or if you happen to have a jar of old pennies lying around, you might just have a hidden treasure. Asterisk. Let's start with one of the most famous rare pennies, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent. This penny was minted in San Francisco and is incredibly rare because it features the designer's initials, VDB, on the reverse side of the coin. The initials were initially intended to be removed, but due to a public outcry, the mint decided to keep them on this limited run. This small batch of coins quickly became a collector's item, and today, a 1909 SVDB penny can be worth anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on its condition. In mint state, it could go for even more. Asterisk. Next up is the famous 1943 copper penny. During World War II, copper was in short supply, so the US Mint switched to making pennies from steel. However, a small number of these pennies were mistakenly struck in copper. Only about 20 of these 1943 copper pennies are known to exist, and each one is worth a small fortune. In fact, one of these rare copper pennies sold for over $1 million at auction. If you happen to find one of these in your coin collection, you could be holding a small piece of history and a fortune. Asterisk. Another prized penny is the 1955 double die obverse. This penny is famous for its minting error, where the image of President Lincoln appears doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process. This error makes the 1955 double die obverse one of the most sought-after error coins by collectors. In good condition, it can be worth $1,000 to $10,000, and in mint state, it could fetch even more. Asterisk. And finally, let's talk about the 1992 close AM penny. This coin features an error where the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are closer together than they should be. This is a rare mistake, and if you find one, it could be worth anywhere from $100 to $1,000, depending on the condition of the coin. Asterisk. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable penny on your hands? First off, check for rare years like 1909, 1943, 1955, and 1992. Next, look for minting errors or unusual features, like doubled images, off-center strikes, or missing letters. If you come across a penny that seems unusual, it's always worth having it evaluated by a professional coin grader. Asterisk. Also, always pay attention to the condition of the coin. The better the condition, the more it could be worth. Coins in mint or near mint condition, often graded by the Sheldon scale, fetch the highest prices in the market. So, if you have any old pennies lying around, give them a close look. You might just have a rare gem. Asterisk.